Hello again, once again we are here with Combat Patrol magazine. We're doing the reviews. This is WarGame Hammer, let's get straight into it. Hello and welcome back to another issue of Combat Patrol. I've got my Terminators here from last time. They haven't been able to stand up because they've all got pegs on the feet, so luckily we got some bases. Let's get into this. Now the first thing I'm going to do before we get any further is actually put these guys on their bases so that I can get them out of the way and safe. Because the last thing I want is them dropping on the floor like that. This little tab here is the thing on the bottom. So what we've got is all of the weight being pushed down onto a corner instead of it actually being under the base. Under here would be a better place to put it, but they haven't. They put it off to the side, and as a result you're pushing down on one specific spot. There we go. Right, it's down. That is not coming out in a hurry, and there we go. But I shouldn't have to do that. I shouldn't have to use a metal piece to push when the weight of the entire piece is essentially in the middle. But they've put it off to one side, and not just off to one side of being off to one side. The peg is on this side, on my right-hand side. Ridiculous. Thankfully, the Terminators stand on a little bit easier. They should have had some of these bases in the previous issue. I'm going to keep harping on about that. I don't care what people say. And also, can I just point out that there are 2 pieces left over from last week. So I hope you didn't lose your sprues because these pieces are required for this week. Here we go. We're going in. Deploying the Terminators. The Silver Templars return. And special abilities. Oh, I'm looking forward to that. Special abilities, that's nice. The editorial says, you can always count on the Terminators to arrive on time. Ah, can you? I don't know about that. This issue lets you complete your Terminator squad, bringing one of the most elite Space Marine units to your battlefields. You also get the chance to learn more about the Imperium, read more short fiction, and more. Okay, so this week, because we got the how to build for the Terminators in the previous issue, we got how to paint them this time. And we're using some of the paints and the brushes that we got earlier on. So it's all looking quite nice. Lots of metal and blues. Very nice. This is looking good. Again, nice step-by-step processes. Very, very happy with that. I haven't got them 100% completed, as you can see, but it's starting to look pretty good. Nice bit of lore here. Oh my goodness, nice bit of lore. Creating a Space Marine. Space Marines are monsters. They're literal monsters. They've got 3 lungs, 2 hearts, multiple extra organs. They're, more than a little bit creepy. So reading the lore on those is quite good. How they select the candidates, the physiology of them, it's lovely. And then part 3 of a short story, Bonds of Honor. So it's starting to get longer short stories now, which is nice. Very, very nice. Aha! Now we get a bit of info on the Terminator squad. So, Terminators are indomitable, heavy assault troops, drawn from the most experienced veterans in a chapter. They are deadly at any distance, whether laying down storms of bolter fire or closing in for the kill with crushing power fists. Whoa! Many a battle has been won by the timely intervention of these elite warriors. So, we've now got a random table that tells you a bit about your Space Marines. Got my die here. Let's do this. Let's see what they're about. I can't read that from there. So, there we are. 5. These Terminators are utterly relentless, harrying their chosen prey with a storm of fire and stopping only when they are dead. Yep, that sounds about right for Space Marines. And our unit names will be, I don't know, the Chunky Monkeys. Let's put it that way. Oh dear, you guys are going to get sick of my stupid names by the end of all 90 issues of this. Now we get the nice big data sheet about the Terminator squad, which allows us to see their special abilities. There's our leadership and objective control from the previous issues. And vulnerability save against a saving throw, so depending on which one you want to use. Very, very nice. Looking pretty good. Okay, here's an interesting thing. Fury of the Fist. Each time a model in this unit makes an attack that targets your Oath of Moment target, add 1 to the hit roll. So, they've mentioned down here. You may have noticed that the Fury of the Fist rule works using another rule, Oath of Moment. Don't worry about using the Fury of the Fist rule for now. A later guide will cover how to use both it and the Oath of Moment faction rule. So that's interesting. We're getting information ahead of time and telling you, wait on, don't worry about it. You'll find your Terminator squad a formidable unit on the battlefield, even without Fury of the First. Excellent. Okay, so that's good. So now we get special rules about leaders. Now this is cool because leaders have extra abilities. They come on down here on their data sheets. I don't remember us covering it before, but here we go. So we've got our Space Marine Captain and his Terminator Squad bodyguards. Special rules on leaders. Battles are won by great warriors. Wars are won by great leaders. On the tabletop, leaders are a special kind of unit who are not just great combatants in their own right, they can also be used to upgrade and enhance the abilities of your units. So we've received 2 leaders so far, the Librarian and the Captain. These units have a leader keyword on them, great, and they work best when paired with a unit compared to the deadly solo characters such as the Tyranid Prime. Yep, that's fair enough. Okay, so how do we do this? They join units before the game begins, you can't join them afterward. Both of our Space Marine leaders can join with Terminators, which is nice because I happen to have another set of Terminators from the starter set, so I could team the Librarian with a set of Terminators and the Captain with a set of Terminators if I wanted to go all in and have a big chunky monkey battle fest. I think that's pretty cool. But you can only attach 1 leader to each unit, so that keeps it quite nice and level and balanced. So what we got here? Oh, so now we're going to cover the special abilities of the various leader units. What's this guy's ability? Unstoppable Valor. You can re-roll charge rolls made for this model's unit. The leader and his Terminator bodyguards can charge, and if we don't let the roll, we can re-roll it. That's nice. And of course, you can only re-roll once because that's how the rules work. We covered that in a previous episode. But here's the interesting one for the Librarian. What's his? Veil of Time is a psychic ability. While this model is leading a unit, weapons equipped by models in that unit have the Sustained Hits 1 ability. We covered Sustained Hits in a previous episode, so that is nice as well. It changes how they work and how they operate, but it's very, very nice. Leaders often provide valuable benefits to the unit they have joined, it says. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty good. And here's the bit about Unstoppable Valor. If they want to charge, oh, they missed on the first one, but the reroll, now they can charge. So that is pretty cool. That will be very useful in very limited circumstances. This one is more useful on an overall sense, but you make a choice before you start on what you're actually trying to play for, which is cool. So let's see about attacking a unit with a leader. Once a leader has joined a unit, they cannot leave it for any reason. Well, I'd say death is a good reason. They are, for all gameplay purposes, part of the same unit. It's just one big group. They must move, charge, attack, and so on at the same time. However, when you are allocating wounds to a unit with a leader, you cannot allocate a wound to the leader until every other model in the unit has been destroyed. So yeah, even death will not separate them from their unit because they're the last one to leave the unit. Okay, that's pretty cool. Once every other model in the unit is dead, the leader stops benefiting any abilities that take effect when they're leading a unit. So basically, they lose their unit ability. Okay, that's fine. And then we move on to interesting stuff here. So, we've got stealth. Now you have a few more games under your belt, you can start including more unit special rules in your battles. One example is the leader ability you've been reading about here. Another great rule is stealth. Okay, that's interesting. The stealth rule represents advanced cloaking equipment, chameleonic skin, or simply a great skill at hiding. Okay, fair enough. At any time a unit makes a shooting attack against a unit with the stealth rule, that unit must subtract 1 from its hit rolls. Interesting. Pretty cool. Von Ryan's Leapers have the stealth rule, so when they come in, oh look, they're in the next mission. So we get to play with stealth. And, oh, we get to decide where our group is and what we're putting out. Oh, that's interesting. So let's go back to here. We're covering fights first. Now, we have mentioned this in a previous episode because I did bring it in fairly early on. Probably shouldn't have because it's here, but never mind. Von Ryan's Leapers also have the fights first ability. This is a very powerful rule that allows a unit to almost always strike before their foes. A unit with the fights first rule may always be chosen to fight during the first part of the fight phase, alongside any units that have charged. You can still only choose a unit to fight once in each fight phase. And this is where a few people pointed out in previous episodes that I'd done the combats wrong. Completely get it. It was due to the fact that I didn't do the sequencing properly. Thanks for pointing it out. We will work on that. You can still only choose a unit to fight once in each fight phase, even if it has the fight's first rule. A unit with fights first can even strike before an enemy unit that charged it. This gives you a great opportunity to deal damage to the enemy before they get to fight you. Excellent. Fight phase. In the fight phase, both players fight with their units. Fight first, players alternate choosing units to fight. They start by choosing units that charged and units with the fight's first ability, then the remaining combat. Excellent. So what have we got next? Scenario 9. Burden of Command. In this mission you score victory points as follows, blah blah blah. Mostly same as before, but Tyranid player scores 5 points if they kill a Space Marine leader. So the Tyranids, if they want victory, are going to try and get those two and kill the leader. The Space Marines, if they want victory, are going to get those two and try and keep their leader alive. So as you can probably see, it's quite an unbalanced situation, but that's actually quite interesting. In this mission you'll use the rules for attaching leaders to units for the first time. Choosing wisely is the key to variety. So who are you going to go for? Your choice, but you get both of your leaders, just one of them's attached. Okay, that's cool, because then we get to play with the different mechanics. Okay, that's pretty good fun. And then as we're going on, it's getting more and more complex and longer for the fights themselves. Gives a nice battle tips, and then we get to the end. So let's play through the mission and see what happens. Welcome back once again to the game room where we are playing Scenario 9, The Burden of Command. Now this one's quite interesting because the Space Marines are once again completely outnumbered, but they've got a bit of a trick up their sleeve because this time we get to use leadership abilities. I've decided that with our Space Marines, we're going to have the Captain and Terminator armor out here on his own. The reason for that is his leadership ability that we would get if we allied him to the Terminator group is that we can re-roll a charge roll, which is great, but I'm hoping to not have to charge an awful lot. I'm hoping to be able to take some objectives and then hold them. So I've instead partnered them up with the Librarian in Terminator armor over here because his ability is Veil of Time. And this is a very nice one because it means that everyone has the Sustained Hits 1 ability, which means that anytime we roll a 6, it counts as 2 hits rather than 1. Now that, I'm hoping will come in a lot because I'm planning to blast all of these guys over here with all of their weapons. So let's hope it works. Meanwhile, on the side of the Tyranids, we have an elite fighting force. We have the Von Ryan's Leapers down here, the Winged Tyranid Prime, a selection of nice Barb Gaunts, and 10 Termagants. The Termagants I'm planning to use to rush and take the objectives, while the Von Ryan's Leapers rush and take the objectives. And that way I can try and hold it for the Tyranids against the Marines. And we'll see what happens after that. And then, of course, we're going to blast everyone with the Barb Gaunts because the Barb Gaunts are brilliant at doing that, and the Winged Tyranid Prime will flit around and fight whatever needs it. So, standard practice. Let's roll to see who goes first. Blue for the Marines, purple for the Tyranids. Marines are going first. Let's do this. So, the Marines, they need to be able to take that and that. However, they've only got a 5-inch move, so this is not going to be easy for them. So let's start with the Captain in Terminator armor. His first move, he's going to move 5 inches. The Librarian and Terminator squad also have a move of 5 inches. Which means they get to about there. It's not brilliant, but we'll make it work. They're on the objective and they're within unit coherence because everyone is within 2 inches of each other, so that's okay. So, they've taken that objective, and this guy hasn't yet. But we need to start blasting away. So, these guys are a bit tasty when it comes to their firepower because they all have a 24-inch range, which means that everything on this board is within range. Seriously, everything is within range. So, let's start by taking out the Winged Tyranid Prime. Everyone is going to go for the Tyranid Prime. I'm going to start with the librarian. He's going to blast first with his smite. He's got a 24-inch range and D6 attacks. It's important that we get rid of some of these guys. He gets 5 attacks. Now, we're using standard smite of Witchfire, so he hits on a 3+ with his 5 attacks. Okay, so he has managed to miss with 1, and the others get through, but oh look, a 6. Remember his Veil of Time. So we get 5 hits, which means that is a very powerful move, and I think we may have made the right decision. So, we've got a strength of 5 against the Winged Tyranid Prime's toughness of 5, which means they wound on a 4+. Wounded twice. Not too bad. Saving throw, armor penetration -1, so the Tyranid Prime saving throw is now 5+. And he's managed to make 1 save. That's not too bad, actually. But we have a D3 for damage on the librarian, so let's see what happens. 3, which means he gets 2 damage. He has 6 wounds, so he's not at the point where he's going to have to deal with Battle Shock yet, but could get there. So, now the Terminator squad that the librarian is attached to is also going to fire. So we've got Storm Bolters and Assault Cannon. He's got an Assault Cannon. The 4 of those have got Storm Bolters. We're going to do them first. They get 2 attacks each. There's 4 of them, so that's 8 attacks. 8 attacks. And for the Storm Bolters, they have Rapid Fire 2, but I don't think he's within 12 inches. No, he's not. So we only get those 2 attacks. They therefore hit on a 3+. 3 didn't hit, so 5 attacks get through. Okay. They have a strength of 4 against the Tyranid Prime's toughness of 5, so they wound on a 5+. 1 dropped out there. Okay, so 3 of them have wounded. Not too bad, not too bad at all. What's their armor penetration? They have no armor penetration, so his save is a standard 4+. And he saved twice, but 1 got through. What is the damage for a Storm Bolter? It is 1. Okay, so we're doing alright. He's now got 3 wounds out of 6. So, on in the next round, if he's not already dead, he will have to take a Battle Shock test. But we still have one of the Terminator squad to go. And this is the Assault Cannon guy. This big dude here. He gets 6 attacks on his own. And with those 6 attacks, he wounds on a 3+. 1 came out. Okay. Wounding on a 3+, which means only 3 of them got through. Not too bad, not too bad. Strength of 6 compared to the Tyranid Prime's toughness of 5, which means he wounds on a 3+. This is actually pretty good for him. Let's see what he can do. Okay. 2 wounds. Does he have armor penetration? He does not, so the Tyranid Prime saves on a 4+. Let's see how well the Tyranid Prime can save. 1 saved, but 1 did not. With 1 damage, the Tyranid Prime now has 4 damage. He's on to Battle Shock tests if he survives. The Captain steps up. Is the Captain within 12 inches? No. So he doesn't get his sustained hits. He just has his standard 2 attacks. But he hits on a 2+ because he's the Captain and therefore has a bit more training. 2 attacks, hitting on a 2+. Both have hit. Strength of 4 against a toughness of 5. He wounds on a 5+. Can he do it? He only needs 2 damage and then that guy's down. He does not. There we go. So that's not bad. At this point, I don't want to charge. There's a very good reason. I don't want to get him out of the chance of getting to this. So if we charged, well, for a start, they're outside of 12 inches, so we can't. But if we had charged, I would have then had to fall back. And that would have incurred some issues, because no doubt he would have got hurt quite badly. So, at this point, the Space Marine's turn is over, but we're in a very, very good position for the next round. So, what are we going to do now? Well, this guy immediately needs a Battle Shock test. His leadership is 7+, so he needs to roll 2d6 and get 7 or more. He gets it. So he's not battle shocked. We're okay. Von Ryan's Leapers are going to move first because there is no reason why they wouldn't. Von Ryan's Leapers have a 10-inch move. So we're going to move them 8 to get onto this. And now on the objective, Von Ryan's Leapers are controlling that objective. Again, because of round 1, the way they started, no one's got anything in terms of points yet, but still all to play for. I'm going to move the Tyranid Prime as well, and I'm going to place him to stop these guys from being able to shoot very far, if we can. I'm going to fly him to here. And that way we can try and hold everyone off. Meanwhile, the Termagants are going to start moving down to here. Brings them in range to attack if we need to, but doesn't remove their line of sight because they can still see around that guy. So, that's okay. The movement is done for what I want to do at the moment. I had to get them round this terrain anyway, so it's not like a big deal. Right, they're now going to shoot. Well, Termagants can definitely see on line of sight this guy here, and he's within 12 inches. So, they have a range of 12 inches, 1 attack per. There's 10 of them, let's have 10 attacks. Termagants hit on a 4+. They're not great at hit shooting, but everything counts. Sheer weight of numbers might help them. 3 got through, not too bad. So they have a strength of 5 against the captain's toughness of 5, so they're wounding on a standard 4+. Every single one has wounded. Excellent from their point of view. They have no armor penetration, so his save is standard 2+. Let's see if he can make it. He's made all the saves, so he's okay. That's not too bad though. Right, time for the Barb Gaunts. Barb Gaunts have not moved, and there are more than 5 in that particular group, which is who they're going to shoot at to give them the best chance. So, they get an extra +1 on their shots, don't they? There's 5 of them, 5d6 plus 1, and that's the d6 plus 1, not 5d6 and then add 1. So effectively it's +5. Okay, 2, 4, 7, 10, 13 plus 5, 18 attacks. They're doing 18 attacks. They haven't moved, so the Barb Gaunt's standard attack of hit rating of 4+ is now on 3+. 18 hits on 3+. 18 attacks hitting on a 3+. 11 have hit. Barb Gaunts have a strength of 5 against the Terminators' strength of 5. The Librarian also has a toughness of 5 even. So they wound on a 4+. Not bad at all. 5 got through. No armor penetration, so the standard saving throw for the Terminator squad is 2+, and so is the Librarian, so it doesn't really matter either way. 2+, 5, saving on a 2+. And every single one is saved, so they're okay. Right, let's charge, because I want to make sure with this guy that they can't start shooting those guys. And if they're all in melee, they can't, so that's a good use of that. But I'm leaving these guys down here for this to keep on that objective, because at some point he's going to have to get over there. So we're holding that one, and we're going to try and fight as many of them off as we can on this one. It will actually cause a problem later with the Barb Gaunts not being able to do that, but hopefully, given that this guy's almost dead, he can do a bit of damage before he goes down. So, he's charging. What kind of number does he need for a charge? He needs 7 inches. He's got it. Okay. Right. Now we do the standard pile in, make sure we can all get around. Neither side has fights first, so the Tyranid Prime is going to attack first. He gets 6 attacks. And he hits on a 2+, which means only one of those is missed. So he's got 5 attacks hitting. That's not bad at all. Not bad at all. So his strength is 6 against the toughness of 5, which means he wounds on a 3+. And 1 didn't wound. Okay, he's doing well. This is good for Terminator Prime. -1 on armor penetration, so they now save on a 3+. Okay, none of them have saved, so 4 wounds get through. He has a damage of 2, which means 4 wounding, 2 damage each, 8 wounds. Now, to lay out wounds on a unit that has a leader attached, the leader can't take any damage until all of the other units are gone. So, let's send out the 8 wounds. Well, there's 3 wounds per guy, so I'm going to say Stormbolter and Stormbolter both take 3, which leaves 2 wounds on another Stormbolter, which means he has 2 wounds out of his 3. He's almost dead, but he's not yet dead. There we go. That was a worthwhile charge by the Tyranid Prime to take those guys down. We're starting to even out the odds for the Tyranids. Now the Terminators get to have a go, and so does the Librarian. The Terminators all have a power fist, except for the Sergeant, who has a power weapon. We're going to do his first, because he gets 4 attacks on his own. Hitting on a 3+, that one didn't hit. So 3 hits got through. He has a strength of 5 against the Tyranid Prime's toughness of 4, so he wounds on a 4+. One of them has wounded. It's not the best, but we can work with this. So, armor penetration on his power sword is -2, which puts the Tyranid Prime save at 6+. He didn't save. How much damage? 1. The Tyranid Prime can take 1 more damage, and then he's dead. So this is not going well for his fight, but he has actually served his purpose, if we remember, because he's taken out 2 of the Terminators already, making the job of the Barb Gaunts even easier. So, now we're going to go with the other Terminators with their power fists. 3 attacks each, that's 2 of them, so 6 attacks in total, and they hit on a 3+. One of them didn't hit, but 5 did, and that's pretty good going. So, let's see how they get on. The Terminator has a strength of 8 for the power fist. Oh my goodness, a strength of 8 against a toughness of 5, which means they wound on a 3+. They're very close to being able to wound on a 2+. That's amazing. One of them fell out. So, they wound on a 3+, which means that one doesn't. And 4 do. Okay. Their armor penetration is -2, so once again, saving on a 6+. At this rate, the Librarian's not even going to have to try anything. My goodness. He is not saved. There is 2 damage on a power fist, and he's just taken 8. He had 1 point left. So not only is the Winged Tyranid Prime dead, he is pulverized. The Terminators have successfully managed to give vengeance for their fallen comrades. Now we consolidate because they're no longer within coherency. There we go. Right. That was the only charge. End of round 1. My goodness, the Tyranids, well, they've successfulully managed to take an objective and whittle down some of the Terminators. We're going to see soon whether it was worth it. So, at the start of the next round, the Space Marines score 5 points for having 1 objective. So, now we have to do movement. Well, he's going to move, because he needs to get onto this objective. It's as simple as that. So he's going to move. He has a movement of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which will get him just to the edge of the marker. And that's fine. He's not in engagement range. So, he is now well within the range of his ability to use his Stormbolter. He's going to use Rapid Fire 2 because they are not moving. They're staying on that objective and holding it. He's going to use his Rapid Fire 2 on Stormbolter to give his 2 attacks 4 attacks. Let's do this. 4 attacks for the Captain and Terminator armor against the Von Ryan's Leapers, hitting on a 2+. Okay, so 2 of them didn't, but that's okay. 2 of them did. He has a strength of 4 against their toughness of 5, so he wounds on a 5+. 1 of them has wounded. He gets 0 armor penetration, so we're going with the standard 4+ save of the Leapers. They don't save, so he deals 1 damage to one of those Leapers. We're starting to get somewhere. Remember, the Captain is not in engagement range, and these guys can see that. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to forsake the Barb Gaunts this time and the Termagants, because they will go down fairly easy if we can get these guys out of the way. But the Von Ryan's Leapers will absolutely destroy the Captain if we don't. So they're all going for that. First up, we're going to use Focused Witchfire Smite. Now this is devastating wounds and is hazardous. So we're going to have to be a bit careful, because this can get a bit problematic for us. Now the thing about devastating wounds is we can go a critical hit. If we get a critical hit, then no save roll may be made. So that's our devastating wound. It's also a lot more powerful in general. So we get D6 attacks. He gets 2 attacks. It's not great, but it's 3+ to hit. So let's see how he does. 2 attacks, 3+ to hit. One of them came out. Okay, one of them's hit. 3+ to hit. His strength of 6 against the Von Ryan's Leaper's toughness of 5 means he wounds on a 3+. Can he do it? Yes, he can. And that is a critical wound. No save roll may be made against that attack. That was worth it. So we now get to decide D3 attacks. D3 wounds even. 2 wounds. Well, that guy could take another 2 wounds, so he's gone. We're taking down the Von Ryan's Leapers, because they have 3 wounds and totally already had 1. That's it. But we now have the problem of this being hazardous. If we roll a 1, the Librarian takes damage. Yes! We don't take damage. Okay, so the Leapers are going to get attacked now by these 2 with their Storm Bolters. Terminator Squad is using their Storm Bolters. They have Rapid Fire 2. Are they within 12 inches? They are. They're within 12 inches. So they get extra 2 attacks. Which means that they get, in total, 4 attacks. Not bad. Hitting on a 3+. Basically, it's the same bolter as the Captain's using. 4 attacks, hitting on a 3+. Those 2 don't hit. Okay, so we've got a strength of 4 against toughness of 5, so they wound on a 5+. One of them is wounded. No armor penetration, so we use the standard 4+ save for the Leapers. They have saved. Okay, but Giant Assault Cannon guy, he gets up next, and he has devastating wounds, which is the same as the Librarian in Terminator armor. He gets 6 attacks with devastating wounds. I just remembered, any of these that roll a 6 to hit is an extra attack. I should have done that before, but I didn't. So he needs 6 attacks, hitting on a 3+. That one is a 6, so that's an extra attack. Hitting on a 3+. Those 2 are down, but we'll add 1 back in because that counts as 2 due to devastating wounds. So we've got 5 hits. Strength of 6 against a toughness of 5, so they wound on a 3+. Let's see if we can take them any more down. Wounding on a 3+. One of them did not wound. However, he has devastating wounds. That one can't be saved against. So we've got 1 that is automatically given 1 damage. So we might as well add that straight away to that one. These 3, they get a save on that. No armor penetration, saving throw of 4+. And they've managed to save 1, but not the other 2. So there's another 2 damage. This guy is down because they have 3 wounds. The Space Marines are starting to turn things around. Now we come to the charge phase, and at this point we have no reason not to go for it. He's charged in, he only needed a 2-inch charge, he got it. So, Von Ryan's Leapers have fights first. There's only one of them left, but he gets 6 attacks. So let's see if the Leapers can do a bit of damage before, hopefully, he goes down from the point of view of the Space Marines. But from the point of view of the Tyranids, they want to take out the Captain. So, 6 attacks hitting on a 3+. Every single one of those has hit. That's pretty good for them. Strength of 5 against the Captain's toughness of 5. So they wound on a 4+. Wounding on a 4+. Which means 2 of them didn't. 4 wounds. Do they have armor penetration? Yes. The Leapers' Talons have armor penetration of -1. So the Captain is now saving on a 3+. Okay. 3 and 4. He saved 2, but 2 got through. How much damage? 1 per. So he takes 2 damage. The Captain is at 2/3 health. Now he gets to go. Captain in Terminator armor unleashes his power sword. It's actually not a power sword, it's a relic sword. He gets 6 attacks and hits on a 2+. That one missed, but 5 got through. 5 attacks of hit. So, with his strength of 5 against the Leaper's toughness of 5, he wounds on a 4+. And 2 have wounded. Not the best outcome he could have had, but by far not the worst. So we have armor penetration -2, which means the Leaper saves on a 6. He's managed to save 1. Wow, that is pretty good going. But it does mean he still takes 2 damage. So, at the end of the Space Marines' turn, they're battling on that objective, they control that objective, and that guy's almost down. So, Space Marines are in a pretty good position. Let's have a look at how the Tyranids get on. So, first of all, this guy is on 2 wounds, which means he could be battle shocked. We need to now check his leadership. Leadership of 8+, so we need to roll 2d6, and he needs an 8 or more. He gets it, but only just, but he gets it, and that counts. So we have an objective control of 1 for the Von Ryan's Leaper against an objective control of 1 for the Captain, which means this is not in play because they both cancel each other out. Tyranids get no points. We're not going to move this guy because he is not battle shocked, but he needs to take the Captain out, and he needs help. Like seriously, he needs help. So it's time for the Termagants to start moving. Termagants have a move of 6 inches, which means we can get them to just outside of the melee range. It's not great, but we'll make it work for them. The Barb Gaunts, at this point, they kind of need to. They need to start threatening some objectives, otherwise they're going to lose. So Barb Gaunts are going to give up their additional attacks and additional hits in order to move 6 inches. So they're moving to there. They need to start threatening some objectives. So we're moving to there. Okay, now that that's done, we can't fire into this melee down here. So the Termagants are simply there to try and get the objective from the next turn. Those can fire into there. Those can fire into there. So we might as well do that. The Termagants are going to fire. They've got 1 attack each and they hit on a 4+. There's still 10 of them. And their range is a decent 18 inches, which means that's perfectly fine for them to shoot. Hitting on a 4+. Okay, so they got 6 hits. That's not too bad at all. They have a strength of 5 on their flesh borers against the Terminator's toughness of 5, so they wound on a 4+. Okay, wounding on a 4+. That one didn't wound, but the rest did. Pretty good. So we've got 5 wounds, and they have no armor penetration, so the standard save of 2+ for the Terminators, and the Librarian comes in. 2+. Every single one is saved. Not bad. It could have been better, could have been worse. Barb Gaunts. Let's do this. So, the ranged weapon they have is the Barb Launcher. It is blast and heavy. So, there aren't 5 or more in the unit. They don't get the additional attacks. And they've moved, so they don't get the improved hit rate. So, we are going for 5 of them with D6 attacks. 5d6, 6, 10, 13, 15, 18 attacks. Not bad, 18 attacks hitting on a 4+. Technically this orange one here is cocked, so we're going to redo that. And yeah, that works. So, there we go. And I know I knocked that one, but we're going to take it as already there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 hits, not bad at all. So, they've got 11 hits. Their strength is 5 against a toughness of 5. So they wound on a 4+. Okay, 6 wounds. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. They have no armor penetration, so the standard 2+ save comes in. And these guys are going to need it. 2+ save. 1, 2, 3 did not save. There we go. Barb Gaunts have damage of 1 per, so that's 3. He's already got 2 wounds, so he's dead, which means 2 wounds go to, let's put it to the assault cannon guy this time. Yeah, I've made the claim, so let's put it to the assault cannon guy. I could have done it to the bolter. It would have been made more sense to do it to the bolter, because that guy's got more attacks, but made the call, so we'll stick with that. Now, we would decide if we're going to charge. Barb Gaunts need to stay back. Their in melee attack is not as good, and those guys are challenging for this. So we've got to leave them there. The only people that are fighting are these guys, and he fights first. He has 6 attacks. Let's see how it goes. 6 attacks for the Von Ryan's Leaper with his Leaper's Talons, and he hits on a 3+. Just the 1 didn't hit. That's pretty good. Strength of 5 against toughness of 5, so he wounds on a 4+. Just the standard. Wounding on a 4+. Every single one has wounded. That's pretty good. -1 armor penetration, so the captain saves on a 3+. Let's do this. Ooh. 2 did not save. So the captain takes an additional 2 damage, which means on his turn, he has to take a battle shock test. That's pretty good going for the Tyranids. So at the end of that round, the Tyranids are not doing great. They've taken a guy out and almost taken the captain down. But in their next turn, hopefully they'll rally. We now go to round 3. But we have an issue at round 3, because we have to do the battle shock test for the captain first. Now he has a leadership of 6+, so let's do his battle shock. And he fails it, which means he cannot deal that objective. And this is a unit now at half strength, so we need a leadership on that one as well. We go with the Librarians. It wouldn't actually make any difference, because the Terminator and Librarian are both at 6+. So let's see whether they get battle shocked. They don't. They get to contest that, which means the Space Marines only get 5 points. So at the start of the round, Space Marines are on 10, Tyranids are still on 0, but it's still all to play for. So we're going to start shooting at the Barb Gaunts before anything else happens. Librarian is going to use his Focused Witchfire Smite, which is the one that is devastating wounds and hazardous. So we're going to see how many hits he gets to use. 2. It's not great, but we'll go with it. So devastating wounds, hits on a 3+. And he's hit once. It's not great, but what can we do? Okay, so strength of 5 against the Barb Gaunt's toughness of 4 means that he wounds on a 3+. A 5, not bad at all. So he's done all right there. -2 on armor penetration, which means that they save on a 6+. They don't save, so he gets D3 damage on them. 2. So he only does 1 damage, but that's not bad. We're getting somewhere with this. We're starting to get somewhere. 1 damage. Okay. Barbgons, by the way, have 2 wounds, so one of them is already half dead. Now, they're definitely within 12 inches. So, he's still got his nice rapid fire 2 on his Stormbolter, which means he gets 4 attacks. He only gets 4 because there's only him left. So, with his 4 attacks, he gets to hit on a 3+. So 3 of them did not hit, but 1 of them has hit. And because we have the Librarian's Veil of Time, that actually counts as 2 hits. So we get to bring in another hit. So we have a strength of 4 against Barbgon's toughness of 4, which means they wound on a 4+, which means that 1 of them is wounded. Can we take out one of the Barbgons at this point? Arm penetration of 0, Barbgon to save on a 4+. He doesn't save. So that's 1 more damage. This Barbgon is down. The Space Marines aren't doing too badly at the moment. Let's see how more attacks go. Oh, we didn't check for damage on our guy. So Librarian, because it's hazardous, we need to roll now. As I was rolling, the battery went out on the camera, and I'd just like to point out one major thing. That rolled a 1. He has just been damaged because of his hazardous smiting powers. The warp did not like what he did, so he takes 3 mortal wounds. The Librarian has 5 wounds in total, which means that he is now very, very badly hurt. Oh, hang on, he's not on his own. He's not on his own, so that doesn't count. What I've just done there isn't quite right. Give me 1 second, guys. For each roll of 1, 1 model in the unit is destroyed. Technically, it should be this guy, shouldn't it? Because he's taken damage already, which means we don't get to use the assault cannon. The Barbgons stand. That's, not great. But what can we do? These are the ways these things work. So, shooting phase is over. They're not going to move. They're not going to charge. They need to hold that objective. The captain in Terminator armour is, however, going to fight. But of course, the Von Ryan's Leaper has fights first. Von Ryan's Leaper gets 6 attacks, hitting on a 3+ with its talons. 4 hits. Not bad at all. Let's see how it gets on. Strength of 5 against a toughness of 5, so it wounds on a 4+. Let's see how it goes. Only 1 managed to wound. It has -1 armor penetration on a save of 2+, which means the captain now saves on a 3+. He saves. Captain's okay, but now he gets to draw his relic sword and really go at it. He has 6 attacks, and he hits on a 2+. Remember, both of them are badly hurt. Hits on a 2+. 3 hits. So, he has a strength of 5 against their toughness of 5. He wounds on a 4+. He only needs 1 of these to get through. Wounding on a 4+. 2 of them got through. He has armor penetration of -2 on a saving throw of 4+, so the Von Ryan's Leaper needs a 6 just to stay alive. It actually needs both of them to hit a 6, or it's dead. It's dead. The captain cuts down the Von Ryan's Leaper and takes control of that for the next round. Or does he? Because at this point, the round for the Space Marines is essentially over. There's nothing else we can do. We're not fighting with those. We're not charging. That's it. Tyranids' turn. Okay. The Tyranids have a bit of an issue, don't they? They need to start getting some points. They're only 10 points behind. They could get it. So let's move them. Termagants have a move of 6. So let's get them onto here. They can get over to there. There we go. Let's line them up again. Bunch them up. There we go. Nice bunch of little termies there. And these guys need to move as well. So they won't be in melee range, which is fine because they don't want to be in melee range. They're now contesting the objectives, which is exactly what the Terminators need to do. Let's move to the firing phase. Shooting phase, even. They're all going to shoot him. The Termagants are going to shoot the captain. They get 1 shot each. There's 10 of them still. So, 10 attacks. They're all shooting with their little Termagant flesh borer weapons, which hit on a 4+. 2 hits. They got through with 2. It's not too bad. So, let's see how they get on. Strength of 5 against toughness of 5, so they wound on a 4+. And one of them is wounded. They have no armour penetration, so the captain saves on a 2+. And he makes a save. He's okay. Now for the Barbgons. They have moved, and there are less than 2. They've moved, and there's less than 5 in the unit, so they don't get their additions. They just go for straight-up weapons. Now, there's 4 of them left, and they get D6. So let's see how many attacks they get. 15 attacks, not bad. And they hit on a 4+ because they don't get their additions. Hitting on a 4+. 3 got through. It's not bad. Could have been a lot worse for them. Strength of 5 against toughness of 5, so they're wounding on a 4+. And they wound on 2. That's not too bad. So, they have no armour penetration, so standard save of 2+ for the Terminator and the Librarian. Okay, they've saved. They're okay. So, now, might as well charge. Or should we? Here's the big thing. This is going to make or break this entire battle. If we charge, their best weapons on both of the Tyranid units are out. But if we don't charge, they're going to get destroyed potentially next turn because the Space Marines will charge. So why don't we take away the Space Marines' ability to shoot by charging? It makes sense. So, Barbgons, they need 2-inch charge. And they get 2-inch charge. Right, we need to move around to consolidate. Sorry, to pile in even. Right, they're all in range. And these guys need a 2-inch charge. So let's do that. Yep, they get it as well. So let's see how many we can get 2 inches closer. Right. We've got a 3-inch movement. I'm moving the captain's thing out of the way. See how many we can get in here. Not all can get in. That's just how it is. Okay, we've got 8 out of the 9 into range. The rest are behind. So they get 8 attacks and they get 4 attacks. Might as well go with the Barbgons first. They have chitinous claws and teeth, which give 1 attack each, and there's 4 of them. So let's see how they do. 1 attack each, hitting on a 4+. Okay, they did alright with that. 3 hits. A strength of 4 against toughness of 5, so they're wounding on a 5+. It's not great, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, 1 of them managed to wound. That's not bad. No armour penetration, so standard 2+ save. And they saved. So that's out. But now we've got these guys. 8 attacks for the Termagants. And they have an attack of 1 for their chitinous claws and teeth. Again, hitting on a 4+. It's the sheer weight of numbers that do it the most. Let's see how these let's see how these Termagants get on. Hitting on a 4+. That would have been nice if they'd had devastating wounds or any kind of extra attacks, but they don't. So 2 of them got through. Strength of 4 against toughness of 5, so they wound on a 5+. And 1 of them wounds. Again, they don't have armour penetration, so standard 2+ save. And they saved. Well, it was worth a try. Okay, so that's the end of round 3 and the start of round 4. Now, the captain, although we've moved his wounds out there, is still going to have to take a battle shock. And these guys are also going to have to take a battle shock. So, we might as well start with the captain. He rolled a 4, and his leadership is 6+, so he is battle shocked and can't contest this lower objective. The guys at the top, leadership is 6+, and they make it. They can, so they can contest that. There's 2 of them with OC of 1 against 4 Barbgons with OC of 1, so the Space Marines do not get any points this round. They stick on 10. Right, Let's get straight into it. Who's got the ability to shoot? None of them. Not a single one. Space Marines can't shoot. The Tyranids have successfully managed to make sure that the Space Marines can't have a shooting round unless they fall back, but then they're going to have to charge in, and that would just waste time. So let's just go straight for attacks. Librarian is going to bring out his Force Axe and go straight for the Barb Gaunts. He gets 4 attacks. And he hits on a 3+. So, not bad. 3 hits. So, he's got a strength of 6 for this against the Barb Gaunt's toughness of 4. So he wounds even on a 3+. And he's managed to wound twice. Not too bad. He gets D3 wounds. So let's see how this works. Okay, 3 and 4, both of them come out as 2. So he now has 4 wounds to distribute. Barb Gaunts have 2 wounds each, which means 2 of them are down. Not bad. Not bad at all. Now, Bolter Guy. He has a Power Fist. This is going to turn out quite nicely for him, because that gives him 3 attacks. He gets to punch a load of times. 3 attacks. And he hits on a 3+. 2 of them have hit. Okay, let's see how this goes. So, he has a strength of 6 for this. No, hang on, sorry. He has a strength of 8 against the Barb Gaunt's toughness of 4, which means the toughness is half of strength. He wounds on a 2+. He's wounding quite nicely there. So, he has he does. He has 2 armor penetration, which puts the saving throw for the Barb Gaunts at 6+. Let's see if they can save. No, neither of them have saved. Damage of 2 per. Both Barb Gaunts are dead. Space Marines are starting to turn the tide here. Meanwhile, the captain is going all in. He gets 6 attacks with his relic sword, and we'll see how he does there. 6 attacks, hitting on a 2+. 6 attacks, wounding on a 2+. 1, 2, 3 did not manage to hit. So 3 got through. He has a strength of 5 against their toughness of 3, which means that he wounds on a 3+. That one didn't wound. And he does 2 damage per, so that's 4 wounds. Well, Tyranids, of course, have... there we go. 4. The Termagants only have 1 wound each, so 4 Termagants are down. Okay, now we pile in and consolidate again. And now the remaining 6 can still attack. So, they're going to attack. And they get their round. We didn't have the Barb Gaunts have a round because they were all dead. So, Termagants, they get 1 attack each with their chitinous claws and teeth, hitting on a 4+. There's 6 of them, so 6 attacks. Hitting on a 4+. 3 got through. That's not too bad at all, actually. Not too bad. Strength of 3 against a toughness of 5, so they wound on a 5+. 1 wound. Not bad at all. One wound. Not bad at all. They get no armor penetration, so the captain gets a standard 2+ save. He doesn't make it, so they get another damage. The captain has 1 more wound, and then he's dead. And that's the end of the Tyranids round. Final round, into round 5. Sorry, I've just realised that their round, they didn't pick up any points. They should have got 5 points for contesting this one, so the Tyranids should be on 5. Let's do that. 5 points, right. Start of a new round. Both Marines need to take a battle shock test. So we'll start with the captain again. His leadership is 6+. And he hits it, so he's not shocked this time. Meanwhile, the other guys, they have a leadership of 6+, and they're not shocked either. So, both can contest. Well, we've got 5 points for this. He gets an objective control of 1. There are 4 Tyranids on this, and they have an objective control for Termagants of 2 each. So there's no way that he can ever overcome them. So they only get 5 points. These guys are going to move because we can't score any more points from there. It's around 5, but they need to try and get within charging range in order to do anything. So with their 5-inch move, let's move these to here. He's not moving. They can't fire into melee, and he can't fire into melee either because none of them have pistols. So now at the charge phase, they're going to need an 8-inch charge. Can they make it? Yes. There we go. So now we can pile in. There we are. Everyone's piled in and going for a fight. So, since they charge, they get to fight first because no one else has fights first. So, let's have the librarian with his force axe. 4 attacks hitting on a 3+. Oh my goodness, non-hit. Librarian, dude, you need more training. Okay, let's bring the relic sword in from the Terminator guy. Oh my goodness. My power weapon, 4 attacks, hitting on a 3+. One of them hit. Oh, the dice are failing the Space Marines today. Okay, so 1 got through. He has a strength of 5 against toughness of 3, so he wounds on a 3+. He got it. -2 on his armor penetration, so they save on a 7+. Yeah, they're probably not going to save. Okay, he gets 1 damage. One of the termagants is down. Okay, now the captain's coming in. He's got 6 attacks. He's swinging. Let's see how he goes. He's swinging his big relic sword. Hits on a 2+ with his 6 attacks. 5 of them managed to hit. Okay, let's see how he goes. Strength of 5 against toughness of 3, so he wounds on a 3+. Let's see how he does. That one didn't wound. Okay, the termagants are going to have a problem here because he's got -2 on his armor penetration as well, which means they save on a 7+ for 4. Yeah, they didn't save, and he does 2 damage per. That's 8. There's only 5 of them left, and the Tyranids are wiped out. And I think it's safe to say we have a solid Space Marine victory. First one of this year, my goodness. Okay, so that was pretty good. Not as long and complex as the previous mission because we don't have as many Space Marine units, but we do get an awful lot of Tyranids. There's an awful lot of guys here. This is quite something. So, yeah, that was pretty good fun. And let's see how we got on because we did get a Space Marine victory. The Terminators continue their assault even as the Tyranids scatter and flee. They smash through every last trace of the Tyranid infestation, stopping only to request more ammunition. I like that, that's fun. These veterans may have won this battle, but there are many more Tyranids to kill. Already, the hive mind is preparing reinforcements. I like this. A single Space Marine is worth a dozen ordinary soldiers. But I wouldn't want to trade. I like the terrain we're seeing here. These are quite nice. I've got to find out where they're getting these and get some for myself because they look pretty damn cool. Okay, that was a good mission. I enjoyed that. The magazine's pretty good as well. We've got some good in-depth talking about how to do the rules. Good way of laying it out with the examples there. Really enjoyed that. That's a good mission. Good issue. Bit of an advert on the back. And then next time, we've got some interesting stuff. Next up, we have 2 new paints. I've talked about them in the previous issue. So we'll have a look at them and find out what's going on there and why they've chosen Screamer Pink, which is a bit odd, but okay. And then in issue 15, the Psychophage is coming. That I am going to look forward to. Guys, I think this has been pretty damn good. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time. And there you go. I hope you enjoyed that. Still pretty good. I'm enjoying the magazine so far, and I hope to continue. We've got the Eldari and Chaos Space Marines coming up very soon, so that's going to be something to watch. And for now, I hope you have liked it. If you have, remember to click that like button, share it with your friends so that they'll know a good magazine when they see it, and do subscribe for future videos, because there will be more in the future. But until next time, I've been Zoe Kirk Robinson. You've been watching WarGame Hammer Wargaming. Bit of a mouthful, I know. But take care, I'll see you later. If you like the show, please consider supporting me on Patreon. It really does help create future videos. That's patreon.com/Zoe Kirk Robinson. And I've got an extra special thanks going out to Chief89, Sam Yates, Retro Mickey82, Mo Henry, and George Botterini. Thank you so much, guys.